doing well. So as requested by quite a lot of you, I was asked to do a market breakdown on this EU trade I've taken, where I was able to secure a good 10% on with a risk reward of 2 to 23. So let's by the this was the before. If you haven't seen it already, this was the after, and this was the proof of entry. So let's get straight into it. EU, why I took the sales. First things first was I had this very nice area of supply marked out on the daily time frame, right? Now, as I saw price starting to approach that, tap into that daily supply and show signs of rejections, that's when I started to look for a confirmation entry on the lower time frame. So if I head over to that 4 hour real quick, first thing I identified, right, was let me just take out the RSI. I don't use indicators, but the only time I would use an indicator is to spot divergence. Okay, so first things first, as price approached this daily supply, we can see it was printing higher highs, but on the RSI it was printing lower highs. Now this is what we identify as divergence, right, which shows signs of reversal, a willingness to reverse. That was my first confluence. Now me, when I see divergence, I'll usually start to look for a schematic play. Now in our case, we can clearly identify a distribution schematic, right? This would have been our preliminary supply. This would have been our buying climax. Let me get rid of the RSI. This would have been our automatic rally. This would have been our second test. This would have been our upthrust, right? Now once we identified that section of the schematic, we wait for price to break our automatic rally, right? And as we can see, we got that. Let me get rid of that. As you can see, we got that right over here. So right, this was the confirmation that I waited for before I started to look for that lower time frame re-entry. So once I got that break of structure, which was a minor sign of weakness, I started to look for our order block to then sell off. And as you can see, we can clearly identify one on the 4 hour. As you can see, I can identify a clean one on the 4 hour. Now I didn't take the trade of the 4 hour, I refined it down to that 2 hour. I took it off this clean buy to sell candle right up here. Okay, so that was my first entry. So I sold off the open with my stop loss at the close of the body, just like so. There we go. Now I should just zoom out a bit, and I was targeting that low. Now let me just play price. There we go. Price tapped into our order block on the 2 hour, and we simply let price play out. Okay, now structure, that minor structure right over here, that's when I started to look for my re-entries, right? And I clearly identified one. It was on the 4 hour of this refined order block right up here, and that would be where I got my re-entry. As you can see, it aligns perfectly with that 2 hour supply. So I sold off right over here with my stop loss just there, and I was targeting again the lows. Now as you can see here, we had a 1 to 11, here we had that 1 to 9, and now we just let price play out. There we go, TP smashed. So that was it. That was all the confluences I looked for when I took this trade. And now if I just carry on marking out the whole schematic for you guys' sake, that was the second test. That's what I got my entry off. I got my entry at the second test, and then we had that last point of supply before price continued to break major structure. So I hope you lot found this educational. Hope you lot got anything out of this video. Feel free to message me, DM me, or drop anything down in the comments.